A little backstory for setup. I was widowed a little over a year ago. My husband had a substantial life insurance policy as well as a successful business that I have recently sold. I have no financial issues. I can raise my daughter without worry. My older brother proposed to his girlfriend back in January. She's nice and seems to love my brother. We have had no issues in the past. COVID hit, so we haven't done family get-together or anything. Their wedding planning has been put on hold. Until recently. Our state has slowly started opening, no one has been sick, weather has been good, so my dad and stepmom decided to have a family dinner on their outdoor patio to discuss my brother's wedding. With my future sister-in-law's parents in attendance so they could all get on the same page. I tried to dip out because wedding planning isn't my thing. I eloped, but was told my presence was requested by a future sister-in-law. My stepmom said she thought I was going to be asked to be a bridesmaid. Which would have been a no, but that's beside the point. Dinner was uneventful, but afterwards my future sister-in-law pulls out a 3-ring binder and starts handing out information packets about her wedding. When and where she wanted it, pictures of dresses she was considering, colors, ideas for catering, pictures of cakes, everything a well-prepared bride could come up with. My favorite page was the list of expenses. How much she expected everyone to contribute. Her dad, her mom and stepdad, my dad and stepmom, my brother's mom, and me. I said, "You expect me to contribute?" That's hilarious. I was met with a stern gaze from my brother. "Oh my god, you're serious?" "Yeah, that's not happening." Cue the meltdown from the bride-to-be. Her dad speaks up and tells her that she was already told that combined between both him and her mom and stepdad, she would be given $70,000 to do what she wanted. Just like they did for her sister. She started crying. My dad chimes in and says, "Yeah, between the 3 of us, we will pay for a nice rehearsal dinner for like 30 people and an open beer and wine bar at the reception. That's it." She started screaming. Like holding her hands over her ears and screaming, "Why is everyone trying to ruin my life?" So I said, "This is where I leave." She stands up and comes to me and gets in my face, telling me how it's all my fault. I have money, so I should be willing to spend it on her because she's going to be family. I just laughed, looked at my brother and said, "Good luck with all that," and walked out. My future sister-in-law blew my phone up for 2 days, calling me names and telling me how awful I am. I haven't talked to my brother, but my dad said the wedding planning has been put on hold while she reevaluates whether she wants to marry into a selfish family. I know in my heart I'm not the idiot, but a friend seems to think I should contribute just to keep the peace. Which I don't really care about at this point, and my dad and stepmom agree with me. My other siblings do too, but are trying to stay out of it. Not the idiot, and I am so incredibly sorry for your loss. It shows how considerate your husband was to not leave with financial burdens. Let's say you are a billionaire and your brother's fiancé is your best friend. Even then, would it be crazy rude for them to just give you a paper listing how much you will contribute? That's not how you ask someone for a favor. They didn't even make it a request. She's not mature enough to get married, and if your brother does not see that, neither is he. I'd just step back and watch the shot show from afar. Not the idiot. I'd go, "She's no family of mine," because after this, none of you are family either. Goodbye and good luck. Weddings with a high price tag are more likely to end in divorce. Just throw some bad luck there. The audacity. I would never expect my brother to contribute to my wedding. Hell, I don't even expect my parents to. If your parents want to contribute, fine, but they can't volunteer you into contributing funds used to keep their grandchild and you comfortable. They have no clue how much leeway you have with your funds. Not the idiot. This is a no-brainer. What the engaged couple should do is to ask the parents what they are able and willing to contribute and what they can do for themselves. I've never heard of a sibling being asked to contribute, let alone a recent widow and single parent. At least your parents are being sensible. Her parents are giving $70,000 and that's not enough. A young couple would be much smarter to make a down payment on a house and have a nice party at the local fire hall. What a waste of money. So I, 19, have an autistic friend, 19, Ally. Ally's mom and my mom have been friends since childhood, so Ally and I have known each other since birth. She was diagnosed at around 5 and is autistic with some obsessive-compulsive disorder issues. Like, everything has to be a certain way or be a multiple of 1, 3, 5, or 10. Ally is not the easiest person to be around sometimes. I don't really know how to explain it. She can be a little too truthful, like just saying you look like crap when you are having a bad hair day, has a hard time with sympathy, and is very high energy. She is also a lot of fun too. She is creative, funny, and I like hanging out with her, but I have to be in the right state of mind for it. Well, this week has been awful for me. The store I work for went out of business, so I am out of a job. My laptop was ruined because my sister spilled Starbucks on it. I am having the worst PMS cramps and bloating. I found out my boyfriend has been sliding in and out of other girls' PMS. And I had a spat with some of my other friends because they either knew or were messaging him. Anyway, I usually go over to Ally's on Wednesday evenings and we bake. This started maybe 4 years ago now. It's usually whatever dessert she wants to try out and I am fine with that. But I just didn't feel all that great this week and I didn't want to be around anyone. So, I texted Ally, her mom, and her dad around 10 a.m. and told them that I was just going to stay in tonight. I finished my online classes, then went in my room and took a long nap. Well, I slept through my phone going off or something because I woke up to all of these angry texts and calls from Ally's parents. Apparently, she had some kind of a meltdown because she really wanted me to come over. She trashed the kitchen, got flour all over the house, and broke some of their baking dishes. They were blaming me for not wanting to come over and bake with her because I threw off her schedule, and then she spiraled. Then my mom came home from work and was angry with me too. She was mad because her best friend was mad with her and asking why I didn't go over. Well, I told her why and she said my reasons weren't good enough. She said I was being a bad friend to Ally and should have gone over anyway. I went back to my room, locked the door, and cried for a while. When my dad got home, my mom talked to him first. He was mad too, until I explained my side of things, then he said he agreed with me. Now my mom is mad at both of us and trying to patch things up with her friend. It's not like I wanted Ally to have a meltdown or anything. It's not even like I was just avoiding her either, because I didn't want to be around anyone. That and now my mom is pissed at me too. Was I wrong to not go over? I mean, I know she has a schedule and everything, but not everything in life goes according to plan. Not the idiot. It's totally unfair of them to expect you, a child, to be responsible for another child's mental well-being. It is not your job, and even if it was, damn, everyone is entitled to a break sometimes. You were completely within your reasons to cancel, and it's actually a good thing you did, because you were setting some boundaries. Ally's parents reacted in a horrible way to you. You are a good friend, a wonderful friend. You have been thinking about Ally's feelings your whole life. Absolutely not the idiot, you are your own person with their own feelings. You were having a crappy week, I'm so sorry you did, but with time, it'll pass, and you wanted to be alone. You need to set boundaries with your friend, her parents, and your mom. They had no right to express their anger with you as it's their responsibility as parents to deal with Emily. She should be learning how to cope with disruption in her routine, as not everything will go her way in life, especially as she gets older. You do not exist for her, just remember you are your own person. Not the idiot. You didn't just bail, you let them know way ahead of time. It's her parents' responsibility to help her manage her emotions and find positive outlets. They're taking their frustration out on you, and that's not fair. Also, your mother should be more concerned about you not feeling well than what her friend thinks of her. At least your father supports you. Take care of yourself. That's a lot of stress all at once. Your time isn't obligated to anyone but yourself. I am a 28-year-old female that is happily married. I am not close to my in-laws. I have never been. I only see them a few times a year. Part of the reason for this is their beliefs conflict with mine. They think that it is a cardinal sin that I will burn in hell for. I'm working on my master's degree and work full-time, but they believe that women should stay home and support the husband, etc. A few weeks back, my husband asked me to go to a restaurant with him and his family to celebrate Grandma's birthday. I adore his grandma, so I was okay with it until I heard his parents were going to be there. I felt reluctant, but still agreed to go. Before I go any further, I have epilepsy and that his family knows about it. It has never been an issue with them before, or at least, that is what I thought. We get to the restaurant and everything seems to be going okay. We are talking and laughing, my husband and I are telling them what is new in our lives and generally having a good time. I mentioned that I have been considering getting LASIK eye surgery. My father-in-law starts saying that I will never be able to have LASIK eye surgery, otherwise my condition flares up. He begins mock twitching uncontrollably and laughing about my condition, saying that the way he is acting would be my reaction to the surgery, and my brother-in-law starts laughing hysterically. Everyone except my husband and I are laughing. I remain silent for the rest of the time. As my husband's family is ordering dessert, my husband asks if I would like to go. I said yes, thanked everyone for inviting us, and went to sit in our truck. A few minutes later, my husband joins me. He told me that after I left, his mother looked at him saying that I was very immature for leaving before dessert and that I was rude for not talking to them after my father-in-law made that joke. She apparently chastised me before stating that I was never allowed at their house again until I grew up and that my husband would also not be allowed over until I apologized. While I generally do not go over anyways, I was astonished to hear that my mother-in-law was going to prevent her own son from seeing them. My husband told me I did not have to apologize, but I did not want to impact the relationship between my husband and his parents, so I called and half-heartedly apologized. This placated my in-laws, but it has made me feel like I'm a freak for having a condition that is not my fault. Am I that idiot? Holy crap, not the idiot. Take your amazing husband and enjoy the peace that comes from never having to interact with those evil people again. His obligation is to you, the one he married. He should be standing up and supporting you, and it sounds like that is what he is doing. Build your own family with friends who won't belittle or endanger your life with their jokes. Stay far away from your in-laws. Anyone who mocks your condition openly in a public place won't stop there. They'll almost definitely escalate to trying to trigger it. Not the idiot. Mother-in-law was going to ban her own son from their home because of an insensitive joke father-in-law made. An apology was not warranted, and I likely would not have had the restraint to stay as long as you did. Had my parents made such a joke about my wife, I wouldn't have needed to be banned. I would have gladly told my parents they would not see or hear from me until they grew up. However, I'm not on the beat terms with my parents right now anyway. COVID-related stuff, and they are simply not taking it seriously. Not the idiot. It was your husband's idea to leave, not yours, so if he hasn't, he should tell them that. And huge applause for him standing up for you. Sounds like a good guy. And if anyone else in his family is tolerant and kind, find out they will at some time have a quiet chat with them, educate them over time on epilepsy, and that their joke was unkind. Yes, people can be shamed into changing. My in-laws changed over the years, so did I, to be honest. Big applause to you for being so utterly gracious and apologizing to people who are so awful. Yesterday it was my birthday, and my girlfriend surprised me with a present which I did not receive very well at all. My response upset her deeply, and the stream of criticism I'm getting from our mutual friends is making me think that I'm an idiot. Bear with me whilst I whip you through the story. I have spent a good chunk of my life attempting to fit in and conform. This was the story of my teens and even my early 20s whilst at university. The result? I never felt comfortable in my own skin and was constantly forced to repress my true character. These behaviors manifested themselves in a variety of ways: wearing clothing I thought was fashionable, spending long and tiring evenings at nightclubs, listening to music that I didn't really like, and maintaining friendships with people that I didn't have much in common with. The year I left university, my attitude changed. This may sound a little strange, but it is entirely relevant to this question. I wore the clothes that I wanted to wear. I've always had a passion for 1930s to 1950s fashion and tailoring. This is exactly the type of clothing that I have worn ever since. I fully admit that I do not look overly fashionable, maybe I even look as if I'm a cast member in a period drama at times, but I'm now happy and comfortable in my own skin. I don't really want to change myself for anyone. I work as a musician and composer. I have a wide circle of friends who work in the creative arts sector and met my current girlfriend whilst attending a friend's gallery opening in January. We clicked because we had a similar sense of humor and worldview. The first few months have been great, and I've been happier than I have in a very long time. As aforementioned, it was my birthday yesterday and we FaceTimed each other. It serves to mention that my girlfriend comes from a wealthy background and her parents give her a very generous living allowance each month. Whilst on our call, she revealed her birthday present to me, which was, I suppose, an extremely generous and thoughtful gift. In short, she offered to give me a complete stylistic makeover and bring my wardrobe into the 21st century, her words. My response was not positive to say the least. I explained to her that I was comfortable in my own skin and didn't really intend to change who I was for anybody, that the clothes I wore were an expression of my personality, and it would be dishonest to myself and others if I was to attempt to conform to the way others wanted me to behave. To make a massive understatement, she wasn't very pleased. She hung up on me and then didn't respond to my calls or texts through the rest of the day. Later on, a mutual friend contacted me to say how much I had upset her and how I should apologize. Anyhow, before proceeding, I thought I should ask Reddit, the definitive judge of all idiocy, am I the idiot? You're the idiot, but not hugely so. Clothing is a terrible present unless you are rock solid, certain that you know their tastes. If you get it wrong, it is as good as getting no present at all. I tend to discourage clothing as a present for me. However, it sounds as if you took it as some kind of attack. Bluntly, you sound kind of pretentious as hell about the whole thing. Get over yourself. Her heart was in the right place. Nothing wrong with telling her that it isn't your taste and that clothing isn't a good present for you. Everyone's the idiot here. She was rude, but from your post and replies it sounds less like you wear these clothes to be comfortable in your own skin and more because you are trying to build a personality around a 100-year-old generation. I assume the reason she wanted to do this as a gift was not just to change your clothes, but also your insufferable personality, which is an idiot move, but probably also a hint. I'll gladly take the down votes here, we all know the type, but Reddit is too afraid to admit it unless it's a neckbeard or right-wing nutjob. No idiots here. You could get a slightly modernized version of the clothes you love. Update the shirts and pants a wee bit, but keep the main pieces. Ties, shoes, hat and jackets are so interchangeable. You're a jerk, but not an idiot. You should apologize and thank her for being thoughtful, and you appreciate the sentiment behind the gift, and if she expects you to change your look totally, that's not cool. She can help you find pieces that stylistically fit your aesthetic, but be a bit more modern. No matter. You should apologize.